I'm LaRon Finney with the Finn Group and TBT, and we're very, very excited about being in Baltimore for year 2. And before we get started, please turn your attention to the screens.
Welcome to the basketball tournament of the summer. It's electric inside the Granny Gold Center in Charlotte, North Carolina.
You're not going to find a level of basketball anywhere else in the world this time of season.
Good pitch. That's something else. Graham Baby is going crazy. And here comes the whole team of London. Dante Green pumping up the Orange State Bowl. Charlotte and Gray are 3 wins away from $2 million. College basketball fans are going to know a lot of these guys. Oh, man!
Here with the one and only Julio Jones, CJ McCollum, that Mono Carmelo Anthony serves as official host for the basketball tournament.
If I can bring basketball here to Baltimore at this level for $2 million, there's no better place to go. Isaiah Thomas is pretty famous. He had a show built. I'll tell you what, if you're a basketball fan, you watch any part of that last season where you and I sat in here, credit. It was amazing. It was incredible.
I think it's phenomenal. I think it's top. You know, I want to say it's better than it is something because we've got so many.
Amazing. Anything can happen in the TBT.
It opens up the atmosphere of the NBA tournament for everyone. It's fun.
There's so much fun done.
We love this tradition in TBT of the brackets being updated. It's a TBT three-peat for overseas elite.
$2 million. $2 million. You got to come in. You got to be ready to play. If you're not ready to play, it's an easy exit. Every play matters, and the fans wanting it so bad. And that's what TBT is about.
So we're very excited to be here in Baltimore at the lovely Morgan State University. 2 years ago, we were intentional on what the TBT would look like in Baltimore, and we could not have found a better home than Morgan State University in 2018. I want to thank Dr. Wilson, Ed Scott, Joe McGovern, who has been a fantastic partner. They have gone above and beyond the call of duty to make sure our experience in Baltimore is one that we will not forget. I want to recognize very quickly the advisory committee. They have volunteered their time to make sure that we represent not only TBT, but Baltimore in a proper manner. So if you're on the advisory committee, just raise your hand so we can acknowledge you, please. Specifically, Cassandra Stewart from the Baltimore City Health Department. She's leading our Healthy City event. Raul Edwards from Global 1000. He's doing a hiring event that we'll be doing here right at Morgan State University in the Earl S. Richardson Library. And then also Raul Edwards, Alma Roberts, who are leading the health initiative with Cassandra at Mondawmin Mall. And more importantly, or just as important, I should say, Wanda Best from the Upton Penn North community. We're overtaking 7 to 10 projects where beautification and really moving and continue to move that community forward. So Wanda, thank you for your leadership on that. We would not be here in Baltimore if it was not for the leadership of my partner, Derek Chase, who in 2016 was in New York City, and as the confetti was falling during the championship game in Brooklyn, he told the founder, John Mugar, there's only one thing wrong with this tournament, and it should be in Baltimore. So 2 years ago, we began this journey, and we've been very intentional about what areas that we displayed and showcased as part of TBT. Last year, we were intentional about being at Coppin State University, a historic HBCU college. We were intentional about being at Mondawmin Mall to do the Healthy City event, and we were intentional about being in the Upton Penn North community. TBT is about basketball, it's about the underdog, but it's also about giving back, and we're very proud of that heritage that we've had. But more importantly, or just as important I should say, it took a visionary from Boston to come to Baltimore to give us a shot. Because we know the narrative is not what you always see on the media, but the narrative is about the people, the underdog, the communities, and public-private partnerships. So without further ado, my partner at TBT, who brought TBT to Baltimore, Ms. Jen Todd.
Good morning. My notes here on my phone, and my phone is dying, so let's hope this stays with me. as Laurent said 2 years ago, I came down here after Derek came to see TBT in New York, and honestly, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. But I came down here and I noticed one thing, I was struck by one thing, which is that the consistency of the message down here with everybody I met, from potential partners to Laurent and Derek, to the mayor, was all about a shared contribution to the city, of trying to build the city, contribute back to the city, and a real generosity of spirit and authenticity of spirit. And that's something that we try to bring forward in TBT every day. So it made perfect sense to bring TBT to a city that had that kind of consistent message. And honestly, I've visited so many cities now, having done TBT for 5 years, and you don't find that anywhere else. And I don't think I'll ever find that anywhere else. So bringing Baltimore here last year made perfect sense. As some of you know, we had 3 amazing games here last year, 4 incredible teams, sold out games, a new model for us in this Day of Giving and the community give back that we did. So it was, by all accounts, a success. And so of course it made perfect sense to bring it back again and improve on what we had done last year. I want to just point out that this is a huge team effort. I would say we're really looking forward to working with Morgan State, but the truth is we've been working with them already for months, and they're proving to be incredible hosts. So thank you, President Wilson, Mr. Scott, and Mr. MacGyver. The other thing is we're mid-tournament, so as I said to many people here today, my brain is in many different places, but we have a number of games in 3 cities before we even get back to Baltimore in 2 weeks. But I'm confident we'll bring you 4 more incredible teams, given the talent that we've already seen and the talent we expect to be playing in these coming weeks. And we hope to bring you an even more dramatic, which I'm not sure how we beat last year, but an even more dramatic championship game on August 3rd. Thank you for having us.
So as Jen said, we're in Baltimore. We're at Morgan State University. Please take a look at the screen. The beauty of this video, this type of promotion for Morgan State University will be playing for the next 2 weeks. All roads from the regions to the Super 16 lead to Morgan State University, and we're very honored to be here. So without further ado, Dr. Wilson, please come up for some remarks.
Good morning. This is really an exciting day for Morgan State University, for the city of Baltimore, and we are extremely excited this morning to stand here to host the TBT tournament. I certainly want to show my appreciation to Mayor Pugh for the leadership that the city has provided in working with TBT and ESPN to make this opportunity possible here at Morgan State University for the first year and the city of Baltimore for the second year. I also want to express my appreciation to AD Ed Scott for also working very, very closely with ESPN and with TBT and the rest of our team in the athletics department. I really think this is just a terrific opportunity for our city and for Morgan in particular for perhaps 3 very specific reasons. Number one, I think you've heard a little bit about it already. One of the things that we really like about the TBT concept is that it is about giving back to the community. And that really dovetails quite nicely, if you will, with who we are at Morgan and how we see ourselves. We are an anchor institution here in the city of Baltimore, and we are very, very proud of that, and we take seriously the opportunity that we are given, the opportunities that we are given every single time to extend our tentacles into our city. And so the reason for this tournament dovetails quite nicely with the mission of Morgan State University, number one. Number two, many of you may have heard that last week we released a study showing the economic and community impact of Morgan in the state of Maryland and in the city of Baltimore. And that report revealed that we have a $1 billion annual economic impact in our state, of which 564 million of that every year is right here in the city of Baltimore. And so with that, Mayor Pugh, our goal here is that during those 2 nights, we want to see this arena full. We want to see 8,000 fans here to further promote the economic impact that this will have on our great city. To ESPN and to TBT, I know that other cities are basically making the way to the Final Four here at Morgan, but if I can put on a little Baltimore fried hat, if you will, the best city is Baltimore, Maryland. And the best institution is Morgan State University. And so the last of the 3 reasons why we feel here at Morgan that this is a wonderful partnership, a great marriage, and we hope that this is the beginning of a long partnership and relationship, is that it gives us an opportunity to showcase even more that Morgan is a national university and Morgan is a global university. And so this telecast will be carried all over the nation and indeed all over the world. And we think it will give the nation and the world even more of an opportunity to look behind the curtains and to see the jewel that is here in Baltimore City, Morgan State University. And we feel we have a very strong value proposition and that we lead the United States in several categories in terms of in terms of graduating African Americans in engineering and business and journalism. It's Morgan State University that is providing that talent. And this is going to give us an opportunity to convey that message to the entire United States and indeed to the world. And so on behalf of the entire community at Morgan State University, to include our students, our staff, our faculty, our alumni, the Board of Regents, and all of our friends, we welcome this partnership and look forward to a very long-term relationship. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Wilson. I still remember when LaRon and Derek came to pitch the idea to myself and Joe MacGyver. As any good athletic director, I believe the first thing they should say is, I got to check with my boss first. And so the first thing I did was check with Dr. Wilson, and his response was perfect. It's exactly what you want as an athletic director. His response was, what do you need from me to get this done? And that's the type of partnership that we've had since I've arrived as the athletic director. The first thing I'd like to do, though, is thank some people. We've heard a lot about the athletic team, but this is much more than just an athletic event. Ms. Cheryl Hitchcock, Larry Jones, the housekeeping folks on campus have been involved, parking has been involved, our campus security has been involved. We've had several meetings over the course of a few months to make sure that this event runs very, very well. Ms. Joyce Brown from Alumni Relations has been another great partner with us in the TBT. And most importantly, from the athletic department, it's really been Joe MacGyver. You've heard his name mentioned a few times, but I can't personally thank Mr. MacGyver enough. I think sometimes we forget that he has a day job in the athletic department because he's so busy working on behalf of the TBT to make sure we put on a premier event. The reason why I wanted to bring the TBT to Morgan is to create shared value. When I interviewed with Dr. Wilson almost 2 years ago, he asked me what my vision would be for the athletic department at Morgan, and I told him that I felt we would be able to put Morgan in a position that it had never been in. And by you sitting here today at this press conference is one great example of that. As an athletic director, I understand that the Department of Athletics is the window to the university. And one of my main priorities is making sure that I open that window for the rest of the country and the rest of the world to see how special we are here at Morgan. And I think the TBT understood that vision. So by partnering with them to bring them here to Morgan, I think we will accomplish that goal as we have with other events. The Day of Giving, you've heard a little bit about that. One of the things that I asked before we agreed to this partnership as the AD was to make sure our student athletes could participate in that Day of Giving. We will have several of our student athletes from various teams participating in multiple events during the Day of Giving. It's extremely important to our athletic department that our student athletes are leaders in the classroom, they're leaders in competition, they're leaders in the community, and they lead in life beyond Morgan. And I think this Day of Giving will give them another opportunity to show the community how much we appreciate what you all do for us here at Morgan. And last but not least, it's an athletic event. That's something we do very well here at Morgan. I expect that the atmosphere will be similar to a Coppin game. There will be a lot of energy. We want to pack the building. And most importantly, we want to put on a good show for the city of Baltimore and for Morgan State University. So we look forward to the games coming in the next couple weeks. It'll be here before you know it, and we look forward to putting our best foot forward. So thank you, and please make sure you come and support the TBT in Morgan State.
Thanks, Ed. Again, this has been a perfect public-private partnership. I want to take a few seconds to recognize Pima, Kaiser Permanente, who stepped up from day one, Maritha Gay, Destiny, Celeste, Alma. They were really on board to make sure that, one, we could get this event done last year, and more importantly, they stepped up at a larger level, again, not only here in Baltimore, but in Atlanta. The University of Maryland, Baltimore, Johns Hopkins University of Medicine, Downtown Locker Room, Rasan, and the folks at Parks and Recreation, thank you so much for your efforts, and then Al and your team from Visit Baltimore. It is really a true public-private partnership. And Steve McAdam and Terry Hasseltine from the state of Maryland have also stepped up to make this happen. Again, we were intentional about choosing Baltimore, and we're intentional about giving back and paying it forward. So before we get to our two corporate partners, I want to show a quick video of what the Day of Giving truly looks like in Baltimore City.
What a fabulous Day of Giving yesterday all across the Charm City. The basketball tournament partnered with the City of Baltimore and other community organizations for improvement projects around the area. The day kicked off at Robert C. Marshall Field with a ribbon-cutting ceremony featuring Baltimore Mayor Catherine Pugh, TBT creator John Mugar, and 10-time NBA All-Star and Baltimore native Carmelo Anthony. Melo received the Mayor's Service Medal Award for his continued contributions to Baltimore. The giving then spread throughout the city as volunteers and TBT staff went to work. There was a job fair right here on the campus of Coppin State University, a health and wellness fair down the street from campus at the Madonna Mall, and community transformation work centered around the Upton Penfield neighborhood and downtown Winchester project. We also caught up with volunteers painting and making improvements at New Era Academy in the Cherry Hill community. Local sponsors Kaiser Permanente, Johns Hopkins, Sagamore Development, and She City help make the Day of Giving possible, along with all the volunteers who stand out across the city to give back. Thanks to everyone for their day of service to Baltimore. What an awesome mission.
The beauty about what we do at the Day of Giving, and more importantly, that we will capture this played at halftime during the championship game last year, and we'll do the same thing again in 2018. It is critical that we show these type of images about our city. Our mayor will talk about that in a few moments, but Baltimore is a great city, and we are continually trying to change and improve and the narrative that not only the folks in Baltimore feel about our city, but what folks feel nationally. We're going to have a major focus at the Healthy City event. We have over 40 vendors, 5 mobile units. Kaiser Permanente, again, have stepped up to be our lead partner. We're going to have a very intentional focus this year on mental health and opioid addiction. And again, we could not do it without key partners, Abdul from Keys Development, and more importantly, our lead partner for the Day of Giving and our Healthy City event, Casa Permanente. So please welcome Celeste from Casa Permanente. She's the Executive Director of Community Benefits.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you. We are so delighted to be here, and we've been delighted to be in partnership with the basketball tournament since last year. I echo the sentiments of Morgan State in saying that it took us all of a few minutes to make a decision to support this TBT. It's just an extraordinary partnership. It's an extraordinary concept. As a mission-driven healthcare organization, Casa Permanente is deeply committed to the health and well-being of our members and of the communities that we serve. We know that health is much more than the absence of illness and disease. Health is about community. Health is about the fortitude of the community members that make up that community. So for us, the TBT is so much more than a basketball game. It really is about cultivating the characteristics that we believe work well not only on the court, but also in communities, in improving communities, revitalizing communities, and making them healthier and more able to thrive for their members. So we want to thank the TBT, of course, Larian, especially for allowing us into this tournament. We want to thank Madam Mayor for being always a partner, a great partner with us. Thank you to Dr. Wilson and Morgan State, and also to the state of Maryland and all other partners. We are so grateful to be a part of this event. We came here last year and came back again this year because in addition to this basketball tournament, we wanted to be part of the community activities. The community activities include the health fair and a job fair. We are so excited to be a part of all of the community events. And I just want to quickly refer to my notes here and just say a couple of things to encourage everybody to come out and, number one, fill those 4,000 seats so that on the ESPN cameras they can see how powerful this event is in Baltimore. But also we want you to bring a friend out to Mondawmin Mall for this health fair. We want you to bring people out to the day of service and support the work that we're doing in Baltimore neighborhoods, because in this city, change will happen, but it will only happen if we do it together. So thank you for your partnership, and thank you for inviting Casa Permanente into the fold.
Thanks, Celeste. And again, Kaiser, when you talk about partners, they've stepped up, and we have weekly meetings via the phone, and it's all about moving the city forward. So Destiny, Alma, and Celeste, I cannot thank you guys enough, not only for your monetary contribution, but for your commitment to Baltimore City, 21223, Future Baltimore, and we're also partnering and redoing the lab, computer lab at Bond Security. So they've been completely on board. So I want to thank you again for that. I want to quickly recognize Dr. Bunley from the Mayor's Office of African American Male Initiative. They've been a great partner. They're going to recognize 40 African American males in the city as part of TBT and a Day of Giving. So Dr. Bunley, thank you for your leadership on that. Without corporate partners, we need local partners, we need marketing partners, and again, Dion Joyner-Williams has been part of the advisory committee, but she would not get that call to order if not for her boss. So please welcome the CEO of Visit Baltimore, Al Hutchinson.
So good morning, everyone. How's everybody? Madam Mayor, good to see you. So let me just first say just a shout out and a thanks to the TBT team. Jen, I haven't met you yet, but thanks for your commitment to this great city. LaRon and team from TBT, thank you for this event. I just want to say two things to you, and obviously Dion Joyner-Williams, who's an alum, Dr. Wilson, of this great institution of Morgan. We're really proud as an organization to be a partner with this great event. My job every day is to sell this great city of Baltimore. And to sell the great city of Baltimore, our job is to tell the great stories. So I think two really important things about why we see this as a great event of TBT, and Dr. Wilson mentioned it. The Day of Giving is extremely important because there's no other place where basketball should be played than Baltimore. Baltimore City has a great basketball history, but the community is extremely important. So the beautification piece, which I know is a part of the mayor's initiative, we need to look at always uplifting the communities here in Baltimore. The residents are extremely important, and that's a part of our pillar now as an organization, community engagement. So I see this as more than basketball. It's about really rallying our citizens and our residents to really feel good about who they are, what they do every day. And these young folks who are in these communities, Morgan is an institution that they can aspire to and look at to attend this great university. So I really want to give a shout out to LaRon and team to really put that community piece into play. And the second thing I'll say to you about the benefit of TBT, because I'm in a marketing business, I'm all about selling the great brand of Baltimore. And if we can hang our hats on another event like TBT, that's going to be viewed by folks all across this country, and they see Baltimore City and doing positive things in the academic space. We're doing positive things in our neighborhoods. We're doing positive things for young folks, giving them hope and opportunity. We're doing positive things with our private sector, showing that there are jobs in this great city. I want to be a part of that kind of brand effort, because every day, all day, it's about telling folks that Baltimore is a very special place and one of the greatest cities in this country. So I'm happy to be part of it. I'm happy to be on the team, to be a great cheerleader. We did commit to this a year ago. We're going to stay in the game with LaRon and the team at TBT, because at the end of the day, everyone in here should be about a big win. This is a big win for the city of Baltimore. I want to keep competing every day to help drive it forward, be a part of the mayor's team. So I just want to say thank you to TBT for having confidence in this great city. Thank you to Dr. Wilson and your team for hosting this great event. And I'm just going to leave you with this, because everybody in this room who's a part of Baltimore City in this region, our job is to go out and sell this great city. And we need everybody in here to talk about the positives of this great city, because we have a lot of great stories to tell, and we're going to keep telling it. Because at the end of the day, it's about winning the game, and we're going to win the game with your help. So I say thank you for being a part of it. LaRon, thank you for your confidence in our organization, and let's keep moving forward. Thank you very much.
The governor, lieutenant governor bring remarks. They're in Annapolis in meetings and then on the Eastern Shore. I want to personally recognize Mr. Van Brooks. He is the director of service and volunteerism for the governor's office. He's been very instrumental in making sure that we integrated completely with the state of Maryland. So Van, thank you for your support. I want to personally recognize Will Barton from the Denver Nuggets, Baltimore born. Big supporter of TBT. We have some team thrill, young fellas in the background. Will is the epitome of TBT. You take it from whatever beginnings God has given you, and you make the best of it. So Will, we're very proud of you for that. I want to bring up my partner, Derek Chase, who's going to recognize and bring on our final speaker. Again, this has been a true partnership. There are no egos, and if we do have them, we check them at the door. From Morgan to Kaiser to the city of Baltimore, this is a true public-private partnership, and the person that really epitomizes that most is my partner. I love him to death, Derek Chase.
Greetings, Dr. Wilson, Madam Mayor, Jen, and everyone that's here for this great event. The 1980s was critical for a lot of things, but for one thing in particular. They had the right slogans for marketing. And I could give you a slew of slogans, but the one that I think best represents what we have here is "You got the right one, baby." All right? So when I look at the conglomerate and the power that we have here in this room, "You got the right one, baby" comes to mind. When we look at this brand, the basketball tournament, and what it represents, and how it's been willing to move into communities and act as an agent to transform communities outside of business, you got the right one, baby. When you look at our relationship with Kaiser Permanente, an organization, global in scope, that comes and chooses a zip code, not just, choose a city, but specifically chooses a zip code to impact and transform that neighborhood. You got the right one, baby. When you look at this university, and there's a shared connection here, I know Dion, there's a shared connection with Morgan State University. Our wonderful Madam Mayor, there's a shared connection with Morgan State University. Joe McGiver, there's a shared connection with Morgan State University. Alma Rock, there's a shared, Derek Chase, there's a shared connection with Morgan State University, and I can go on and on and on. When I look at this wonderful university with Ed Scott and our grand president, Dr. Wilson, we can all say, we can all touch and agree that we got the right one, baby. This is an amazing, amazing event. And the truth of the matter is the part that makes Baltimore amazing is that we are the little engine that could. The little engine that wasn't supposed to be, but is so powerful and so magnificent. Stand Up Baltimore comes out of that tradition. The person that I have the pleasure to introduce to you, I didn't meet her in a corporate office. I had heard of this wonderful woman. At that point in time, she was a senator, but I had never met her. I actually met Madam Mayor, who wasn't Madam Mayor at that time. I met her in the streets of Baltimore on several occasions. In the middle of the night, when there were no politicians and there were no cameras around, there was only people who looked like they had problems that were bigger than life and people who were there to help to transform those problems. So the person that I have the pleasure to introduce is really about the community. It's really about how do you move people from one space to the next? How do you build these relationships with public and private and community partners? And how do you bring those people to a table and get them to sort out and fix their own problems? This person is not, doesn't posture this. Because we know we've met many personalities throughout life, they posture different things. And sometimes it works. But this woman, this magnificent leader that we have in the city is about transforming communities. Not only in the community, but also on the corporate side. What I would like to do, with no further ado, is I would like all of you, if you could, because I think anybody that's worthy of praise should be praised much. I would like you to give a thunderous round of applause for our Mayor, Madam Catherine Pugh.
Thank you all, thank you. So, I am a Morgan alum. In fact, I used to sit over there on the bench cheering for Morgan State University as a former cheerleader. And it is so good to be back home in my alma mater. Thank you, Mr. President. Let me say, LaRon, thank you for believing in your city. Derek, you're a lot of things, an actor, an ambassador. What are you, a Nigerian ambassador? Liberian ambassador. But also an individual who, I remember when I did my first call to action, and who's in the room? Derek Chase. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for always thinking about Baltimore. To be at a game, I think it was New York City, and to run across and say to folks, y'all are doing a great thing, but you're doing it in the wrong city. And then to make it happen. I tell folks that, it's one thing to have a vision, it's another thing to bring it to reality. And that's what this has become. A vision that has come to reality. I wanted to acknowledge my Councilman Pinkett. Thank you for being here, because I think, let's give him a round of applause. And let me just say this. I think it's one thing to do a tournament, but it's another thing to go from east to west, across the city, into neighborhoods, Jan, to bring about change that we all know can happen when we are collaborative and when we work together. And so, Jan, as I said to you when I first met you, we are going to be engaged in this effort to make this one of the greatest tournaments ever. Because the light does shine on Baltimore as a result of the TBT and this tournament. We want our young people to come out and experience this national attention, but also the competitiveness that takes place. I was at the games. It is exciting. So if you want to see something exciting, you want to be here at this tournament. I thank you all for bringing it back. Kaiser, I thank you for jumping in immediately and saying, this is something we want to put on the radar for Baltimore City because we know that it's going to be great for the entire city. And I thank my team at Visit Baltimore, because this is about promoting Baltimore. People get to see Baltimore throughout the nation because of this tournament. And Dr. Wilson, you're absolutely right. People get to peek inside of an institution that is making a difference throughout this nation. I am very convinced that our city is headed in the right direction. When I look at the violence reduction that takes place in this city, down 20% in just a few months of intense, focused work. The improvements that need to be made in the city are many. You know, from the collaboration and getting organizations to work together, getting the philanthropic organizations, getting the private partners to understand that it is about partnerships. You can do two things. You can sit on the sidelines and be critical, or you can jump in and collaborate and work with us as we continue to move our city forward. So I am grateful that there are so many who are willing to jump in, be collaborative, move our city forward. The impact of this conference, the impact of this tournament is just tremendous. The give back that you'll see in the Upton community, the inclusion of the young people who will be engaged, the private-public partnerships that don't just sit on the sidelines and give money but get engaged, is something that is magnificent and unique to Baltimore. And so when you want to talk about our city, talk about the great things that are happening, it is difficult oftentimes to get above the noise of negativity. But when you have 9,000 young people working because we raised the money to make it happen, or 545 young people going to Baltimore City Community College for free, and parents crying because they didn't even think their child would have that kind of opportunity, because we were one of the first cities to make that happen. And so I get excited every single day, you know, in spite of the negativity, in spite of the stories, but because I believe in this city. Just as the individuals like LaRon and Derek believe in Baltimore, just like Derek running across a floor in New York City to say, right tournament, wrong place. This is the right place. And TBT, you got it right. You're in the right city. You're at a great institution. And our commitment is to bring out the crowd, to bring out the people, to bring out the public, so that they can witness the greatness of a tournament that takes extraordinary individuals to come into this gymnasium, athletic center, and fight to win $2 million. And so if that's not enough, it is the smiles on the people and the applause that you will hear coming to our city, visiting this institution, the collaborations, the integration, and the commingling of resources to make this a wonderful, wonderful event for Baltimore. I'm excited. I hope you are. So Baltimore, let's get ready. TBT is on the way. $2 million is up for grabs, and neighborhoods, communities, and schools, you will benefit as a result of this collaboration. Thank you all.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So here's a call to action for the media, for the bloggers. We want to come back to Baltimore, but we need 4,000 people in the gymnasium on August 2nd, August 3rd. So media, we need folks in the seats. The second call to action, let folks know that we're doing a Healthy City event at Mondum and Mall, screenings, resources, mental health resources, opioid resources, in partnership with Casa Permanente. Please come and take participation in that. We're going to be at the Earl S. Richardson Library on August the 3rd. 2,000 jobs available, 65 vendors, hiring on the spot. We need folks to take advantage of that opportunity. And volunteers, come out and support. There's a link on the site. If you want to volunteer in Upton, Penn North, please take advantage. And then I'm very proud that we're going to take care of 1,000 young folks in Baltimore City where we'll sponsor tickets for them on Thursday and Friday. So again, on behalf of the team at TBT, Madam Mayor, Dr. Wilson, Ed Scott, Joe McGivern, the real MVP, we want to thank you, and there's one message: meet us at the tournament August 2nd and 3rd. Thank you so much.
And right this way, team. Big smiles. Congratulations.